What did you say?
You have to check that out. You have to check it out.
You all right, hold on. Let's go to this year old Instagram, Harm.
Yeah, go.
Gotta mute this shit. Where's the damn chat, brah? There it is.
Yeah. So check out the Instagram. I just sent it. I think it's pretty clever. There's a new comic book that's coming out, and I'm using the cover as, "Hey, I'm going live in less than 2 minutes."
Is it all about being 2 minutes? Man eater.
Do you see that picture?
What's that?
Do you see that picture?
Yeah, man eater with the fingers. Yeah.
Stick around and you can see a picture of it on the live stream.
Well, I say, look at that. I don't spend a lot of time on my Lul Stamp Instagram. I still go there, but I don't spend nearly as much time as I used to because I spend it all.
Yeah, I'm always bouncing around between Fantastic Comics and my own personal one. It's hard to remember. Like, I'm trying to keep the Fantastic Comics one mostly business related, and some of the fun stuff is more my personal account.
Okay.
I've been recently hashtagging 28 days of Black comic characters.
Yeah.
And I got a response, and I was like, "Oh yeah, I don't really have super old comic books that anybody's going to really care about, but I have like some modern stuff, like some statics that I showed off on the Instagram, and I got a good response on that one.
Nice.
Static shock.
Hold on. Let me see. Let me check to myself real quick.
Yeah.
You know what I've been doing today? All day.
Reading paperback books.
No, but it's related to paperback books.
Yeah.
Building a website.
You're building a website?
Mm-hmm.
Learn the code.
Don't need to. You just need to learn how to use WordPress.
Yeah.
I mean,
WordPress, sure.
Sure. Yeah, it's complicated. Don't get me wrong. And I'm not the best designer in the world, but I've got 2 pages, that are serviceable to be.
Is this so that you can sell paperback books?
It's so instead, how, I don't know if you've ever looked at it, but if you go to my Instagram bio, there's a link there, right? And it takes you to my inventory, and it's a Google Docs spreadsheet.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't really want it to be a Google Docs spreadsheet. I'd much rather it have, better big images, instead of none.
Right.
And just be more interactive. So you can just push a button to buy it instead of sending me an email. It's like, I'd like it eventually so that you push a button and it sends you a fucking invoice.
Wow.
Well, I mean, as of right now, it's fine. I can keep up with it. I can manage because I'm getting, like 1 sale a week. That's no problem. I can do that. But if I ever want it, well, I mean, I think just making it so it's easier for people to use in general is better.
Right.
More likely to sell a book that way. Because there are people who on mobile will not go and look at that spreadsheet. I guarantee it. Even if they click on it, they'll see it's a spreadsheet and they'll be like, "Oh, this is fucking cumbersome," and then they'll back out.
Wow. You are working blue today.
Oh, right. Because we're on.
Sorry, folks.
There's nobody to be sorry for.
Well, in the future, maybe.
Yes, in the future. In the future, maybe.
Hold on a sec. Went live 2 minutes ago.
Oh, that reminds me. I need to go grab something real quick.
All right, cool. I'll thrill everybody with some tales of the comic book store. It's been raining a lot lately. Always good for customers, and all the construction that's been going out is ridiculous. Again, really good for the customers. There are so many lanes that are cut down right now, and just getting like 2 city blocks is like a 3 light process. So hardly, I mean, yeah, just complaining really is mostly what this is. But
Now, Yule, that doesn't make much sense.
all right, so it takes like 3 red lights to get a whole block around the corner to our store. So everything's one way.
Yeah, no,
And
I
if
mean,
you're
I get it, but I don't, well,
Well,
whatever.
that's why I'm saying this. You know, everything's one way, and then you circle the street to come down our street if you're
Yeah,
going in the other direction.
yeah.
Or if you're coming up University, which is a constant uh, uh, double parking situation with UPS trucks and linen and food and all sorts of stuff. Coming up the street is very difficult, and lanes are being merged, and there's all sorts of stupid people driving or people that don't know what's going on. So it's yeah, it's just it's very hard to get to the store right now unless you're coming in by train. Bart.
Did you hear that California canceled their attempt at a high-speed rail and the federal government wants all their money back?
Tell
It's
me
like
about
almost
it.
$1 trillion.
Yeah, that's that's pretty sad. I was like
Well,
really looking forward to it too.
I was looking forward to it, but United States is never going to catch up to Asia at this point. Never.
Well, just in what I don't remember what country it was, but they had just
India.
it was India, their first attempt at using their high speed rail, and it didn't work.
It did. It did work. I can't remember exactly what went wrong, but it was like an alarm went off and they had to double check it.
No, is that all it was?
Yeah, it wasn't serious. I'm pretty sure it's up and running again.
Right. Well, even still, yeah, it's sad, but I mean that's what happens when you can pay your workers nothing, indentures and servants and stuff like that. Oh, I don't know about India. That's probably great. I was thinking more like some of the Asian countries, right? Like
Well,
China.
India went specifically out of their way to build a high-speed rail to like kind of modernize.
Right. That's good news.
And well, the United States, we can't do it because of everybody's got rights and stuff. It's a lot easier to build that kind of stuff in a government that, can kind of steamroll or bulldoze the people.
Sure.
Like
Yeah,
China's never going to have a problem building a high-speed rail because if you don't get out of their way, they will just move your village.
Right. Oh, Larry King's in the audience. How's it going, sir?
All right.
Yeah, I follow him on Twitter. He's a cool dude.
Nice.
He has a show. Yeah.
Well, why don't we let's see. You know what I've been doing. I've been building a website. What have you been up to this week?
Same old, same old. Oh, I don't know if you saw the Instagram post earlier in the day, but we got our diamond shipment in, and in one of the boxes came this big old nut. Here, I'll pull it out. Here, maybe you can see that.
Yeah, I do see that.
X-Men Grand Designs that I reordered.
FYI, that is a bolt, not a nut.
Yeah, well, you're right.
I am right.
Yeah. So we were talking about building something in the back so that we could show off our back issues,
Yeah, like a display.
Yeah. So it would just stand right back behind me, and we would have a whole bunch of issues lying out, key issues, things that people want to see. We can bring up close and whatnot. And our employee Kyle is like, "Oh yeah, you can do this. We'll get this, and we'll do this, and we'll do that." And I was like, "Okay, great. That sounds fantastic." And he's like, "Do you know how to do any of that?" No. Obviously, if I don't know what a nut or a bolt is.
Well, I mean, it's easy to mix them up, but whatever, it doesn't matter. What you need is like some of that real thin, it's not particle board, it's like veneer.
Right.
And Yeah, just build like a slight leaning A-frame, put that stuff on it, and then, well, is this all just going right in one ear and out the other?
No, I'm listening. I mean, that's exactly what we were talking about. It just, you know.
Well, who's going to build it is the question.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. We'll get Hudson to do it, maybe.
You know. You go ahead and get Hudson to build it. You go right ahead.
Table in the front of the store.
You know, one thing that you can do is you can go to a high school or something like that and see if they have a shop class.
Oh, very good.
And then you tell the instructor what you want built, you know, and you're willing to pay $50 or whatever to have it done, and they may very well do it for you on the cheap.
Oh, very good. All right, that's a good. I'll go to the school and see what I can get.
You will not. I know you. You won't do it.
I'll take some comic books with me while I'm at it.
If I was there, I would go and do it for you, but that's just enabling you to be not doing it. So that's never going to happen.
Yeah, well,
you do need something back there to show off your stock. But I was telling Eugene that you could do something like get that screen, just get a small TV or a monitor like you had before, and you just take a picture of every single back issue that you have, and you put it on screensaver and let it run through each and every one.
I guess that's true. Yeah.
You make sure that people know that the stuff is all available. You know, ask at the back counter to see it.
Yeah, we have all these monitors going all the time anyway.
Well, I know you all used to have a TV that somebody took.
Oh, yeah. I hated that thing. It was always just nobody ever really looked at it where we had it anyway.
Well, it was a little bit high up.
Yeah, it was. We needed a bigger television for that. Anyhow.
Make your entire floor into one big TV. That way you get the shy people too.
Oh, yeah, that's nice. I like that. Just like walking on it.
Yeah. Be like a future Apple store. Yeah. All right. So that's what you've done. This is what I've done.
Work, comic books. Oh, you know, I've been so actually I've been buying a couple of comic books online recently.
Good for you.
Yeah, well, you know, so I've actually bought a couple of slabbed ones, CGC.
I know.
I hate doing it, so I actually got a pretty good price as far as guide is concerned, and it didn't really seem like I was paying too much for the actual, you know, grading of it. So I pulled the trigger and got a couple of X-Men that I needed to fill in.
Nice.
Yeah, 123 and 124.
Do you have them with you?
No, I do not.
Well, that's great when you talk about stuff that you don't have with you.
Well, I was just letting you know what I did also.
You got them at home, though?
Yeah, I do. I'm very happy.
So you literally ordered them for your house, for you.
Yeah.
Not for
it's mine. I purchased them. The store did not pay for that.
You're like, hey, customers, suck it. You don't get this. I get this. It's mine.
Well, I didn't, you know, well, sometimes that happens. Sometimes a buy will come in and there's a comic book I really needed or something I didn't realize I needed. And, you know, it looked really nice, or it's just something that's so odd that I haven't seen it come through that, you know, sometimes I'll take it.
Okay.
But I try not to, because if it's something that's, you know, something that I like or something that I think, you know, is cool enough for myself to want it, then, you know, hopefully somebody else wants it even more.
That's almost certainly true. I mean, how many of us are actually unique in our taste?
Well, you know,
the answer is zero. Nobody's unique. Nobody's a special flower. If it was made, that means somebody made it and they wanted to make it, right?
Sure.
And you like it, so at least you have that in common with the creator. They like it too. Well, so hey, Yul.
Yes.
What did you? Larry King's unique. He is special.
He also draws comics, and yeah, they look pretty cool.
He's a special flower. That's fine. That's fine. Does he live in Berkeley by chance?
I don't believe so.
Aw, that's the home of special flowers. They're always in bloom.
Yeah,
even in the rain.
Yeah.
Well, do tell me, Yul, what did you pick up last week to read? I was out of town all week.
Well, do you want to see them?
I do.
All right. Let me do this really quick.
All right, I'm gonna say hi.
So I've been practicing with another light, but I was not happy with it, so I chucked it. Just to let you know.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, all right. Let me see if this will work.
You're gonna get all set up, and I'll tell you the story. I'll tell you the story of where I went and what I did this week while you're getting set up. So I took a little drive. I had to delay my trip by 1 day because of the weather. We had a really bad snowstorm come through Colorado and northern New Mexico. So I delayed my trip by 1 day, and it was still pretty hairy up in northern New Mexico. But I made it all the way up to Craig, Colorado, which is in the northern part of the state, to go visit a buddy of mine named Colin, who I used to work with in Wind. And we went ice fishing twice. And it was a blast, as it is usually. I did stop on my way into Colorado because, you know, they've got some stuff on the side of the road now. It's just like a liquor store, but it's not a liquor store. It's even better. And so I bought some gummies, and I had a real good time going fishing for a couple of days. And then after that was over, I went down to Denver, picked up Philip at the airport, and we went to 6 or 7 bookstores and just picked up as much stuff as I could manage. And
I saw a lot of those posts, yeah.
Yeah, and then I ended up driving back to old New Mexico. You know how it is. You get on the road and you have a lot of time to think, and then you just kind of, I don't know, at least I do. If I have a lot of time to think, then I end up kind of solving problems that I knew I needed to solve, or, you know, they're all in the back of my mind. That's right. That's why I'm working on that website now. But anyway, that's what I did for the week. And now we've got comic books that you did for the week. So let's go. Hit it.
Well, first I wanted to show that off.
That looks like Robin's boyfriend. What's his name? Nightwing?
Wow, look at you. That is previously Robin. That was Nightwing.
Yeah, Robin, when Robin was a little kid, he grows up to become Nightwing.
Yeah. That's right.
I'm into it.
There you go. All right, cool.
He looks pretty cool. I like that black and blue.
Yeah. All right, cool.
Well, anyway, what's so special about that you wanted to show it off?
I don't know. It's something. You know, the ladies usually like Robin's butt. I mean, Nightwing's butt. So
the ladies do.
I want the ladies. Yeah, it was a meme thing for a while ago. Where everything was like, you know, you ever notice that like women are always put in ridiculous positions. So there was one male character that had to bear the sins of all comic artists that sexualized the female form in comic books, and it was Dick Grayson and Nightwing.
Got it.
So they would put him in like, I think him and Hawkeye, but I think it was first Nightwing. Anyhow, yeah. So there you go. There was always some ridiculous Nightwing butt stuff.
Nice. That's not just for the ladies, you know.
Well,
it's for the undecideds too.
Some may even be decided.
They may be. They may be.
Very good. So I read Avengers last week.
Yeah, you were excited about it.
Yeah, I was. There's a whole vampire war at the end of the last issue. Ghost Rider was being whispered to by this demon dog thing that you can see in the front.
Yes, I can.
And you see this dude with the armor and I guess a Gatling gun or something.
Yeah, it's called a minigun, and we had discussed the fact that it looks like he's from Fallout.
Okay, very good. Well, he's a vampire, and he's kind of vying for leadership of the vampire clans.
Oh, yeah. Well, he's going to use a minigun. I don't think that's going to do it. But all right.
Well, he's a pretty tough guy. Anyway, he got taken into Avengers Tower, if you will. It's a holdout Celestial. Anybody that knows what a Celestial is will know what that is, or what I'm talking about.
All right.
Basically, it's a big old giant that they live in.
Thanks for keeping me out of the loop.
Yeah, well, anyway, they were interrogating this guy, but he got loose, and here he is punching Blade.
Hey, real quick before you go on, are they going to include Blade in any movies?
I think someone told me today that they're talking about Blade again, but I'm not sure. I don't really pay too much attention to the movies, or at least I try and say that so I don't have to get into too many dumb conversations.
Well, yeah, but that's with customers. You're talking to me right now.
Well, yeah, that's true. I still don't know.
You're fully expected to be involved in dumb conversations with me.
Well, I try and not really know too much about that because I don't know. The movies just it's not something I really care about that much. And it seems to be a real sticking point for a lot of, problems in comic books and people that are paying attention to it and stuff like that.
Okay, well, I'm not gonna pretend like I know what you mean, but who would you like to see as ye old Blade?
Well, again, I don't really know actors. I assume Idris Elba, right?
What about Jesse Smollett? What about him? Wouldn't he make a good Blade?
I wouldn't know. I don't think that's I don't think Marvel or Disney really need to touch that one right now.
Are you sure? I've heard he's really good.
Don't get me in trouble.
How are we gonna get in trouble? Dude fucking dug his own grave.
That guy was whack.
Well, excuse my language. I forget that I can't cuss on this show.
Well, you can. I mean, you have. I mean,
I can't stop it now. I mean, go in.
It's funny because I thought that this. So there's been a lot of junk going on. Last week was Comics Pro, which is a bunch of retailers getting together and talking to Marvel bigwigs and DC, people and all the other companies about, kind of griping about the industry and trying to rally the consumers or us, the retailers for the consumers so that we could, still stick it out because it's been a tough time for comics, whether people want to admit it or not. Sales have been pretty crazy lately, and the material has been you've had to really stretch and reach for stuff to really hang your hat on, as far as like if you're the kind of person that wants to take a big fat stack of comics, unless you're buying everything anyway, it's not that easy to, load up with, materials that you're going to like all the time these days. And
I get you.
Things are kind of spread thin. And I think one of the reasons I don't like the movies is because, everybody expects these, it's like, this is like years of material that are kind of boiled down in 2 and 3 hours worth of movies. And although I respect what Marvel has done as far as, a 10-year kind of plan, and they're finally coming up with the big bad guy and, the Avengers movies that's going on, it's very well done. But sometimes things are just, I don't know, it just doesn't really translate for me as well. And I could really care less
All right.
about the movies. Especially when a comic feels like it's being written for the movies. We've bitched about Versus before.
Yes.
And that's exactly how that felt. It was just like and then any of those Mark Miller books that he's doing are potentially Netflix movies or, original programming or something.
Yeah, and I think that's a little different, man, because he's kind of got that locked down. He already negotiated that fact, so he can write this stuff as he wants to, and if they want to take it, they can.
Well, that's true. But he's had an eye, or he's been writing stories that have been geared towards television or movies for a long time now. And although he does it well, it doesn't mean everybody does.
No, I get you. And
I don't even always like everything that he does.
No, of course not. Nobody's 100%.
Well,
except David Bowie.
For me, I think he's kind of 50-50, really.
Mm-hmm. I'd say that's fair. That's still not bad. Because he pumps out so much stuff. If that's 50-50, he's doing pretty good.
I guess so.
How's Jeff Lemire for you? What's his ratio?
With the exception of like the end of Royal City, I think he's like 80 percentile without a doubt.
Nice.
I like him. I mean, so maybe like when he was doing Extraordinary X-Men, or maybe his Terrifics run isn't necessarily something that I just have to read. Yeah. But I enjoy reading them, and it's easy to let people know about them. I've loved his Sweet Tooth in the past. Gideon Falls is very good. These are things I'm very comfortable letting people know about that I'm a big fan. Obviously, Black Hammer is a big series for me.
What's that? I've never heard of it.
Yeah,
How
never
long
talked about
was his run on The Incredibles? Or what are they called?
the Terrifics.
Yeah, the Terrifics.
It's still going, but I think it's ending soon. He is
Okay.
ending it.
How
I'm
many
not
issues
sure.
has it been?
I think it's on 13.
Oh
Right.
wow,
I think it comes out this week, and it's 13.
nice. Okay,
Yeah.
I didn't mean to derail you about the whole Blade.
That's all right. No, I mean this is just a picture anyway.
I'd like to see another Blade movie, but I don't imagine that they can go and get.
Wesley Snipes.
I don't think so. I kind of feel like he
I'm
burned
sure
all his
he's still
bridges.
tough looking, and he can throw. I always felt he threw really good action punches on camera. I think he did a really good job with that.
I think he might have made everybody that wanted to work with him mad.
Yeah, but it's Wesley Snipes.
Hey man, I'm into it, but you know how it is. Like there's certain actors that just don't work anymore, and there's a reason.
Yeah, well,
You know, it's called
tax
black.
evasion.
Well, what is it called? Black
Tax evasion.
Well, no, I mean not all of them are tax evasion, right?
I thought he did though.
Sometimes they build compounds.
You mean like he's like a Mooney or something like that?
I don't know if Moonies build compounds, man. I really don't.
I don't know either.
But I heard he built a compound. Yes, blacklisted. Exactly.
Oh, blacklisted.
You can't
Oh,
blacklist him. You can't whitelist him either.
Dude,
Though.
are you telling me that guy is Wesley Snipes? Look at that.
I know that. That's why I brought it up. It looks just like him with a little bit more.
As long as he does some sit-ups, he can totally do it.
Got a little bit of David Allen Greer in his face, though.
Yeah, well. Anyhow, so this demon dog's been talking to Ghost Rider.
Yeah.
And Ghost Rider has succumbed to it, and Ghost Rider kind of gets all. Look at that.
Yeah.
He likes it. Anyway, Tony Stark goes undercover, stealthy wise, and he goes to talk to Dracula, who's being jailed by the Russians. And there's some good stuff in there. I like it. It was a good issue. Fun.
They actually jailed Dracula.
Yeah, he's all jailed up like he's a Hannibal Lecter or something like that.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's cool. I liked it.
All right, good. So it's a good series right now, ramping up.
Yeah, I enjoy Jason Aaron. He writes pretty good stuff, and overall, I enjoy his books.
What's his ratio like?
I can't.
Hey, you're a little too close to your mic or something.
Oh, sorry. I can't think of anything that I really don't like of his. Southern Bastards is good. Avengers is good. His Thor was good. His Thor's been a little long now, but it looks like it's wrapping up, so that one's good.
Okay. So is he better than Jeff Lemire? Is he more than 80%?
It's a different style of book. Jeff Lemire will write a very personal piece, like Royal City.
Yeah.
And he also did Roughneck, which is about a hockey player who is too who's too violent, so he gets kicked out of the league and he has to go home and kind of like set matters right with his family, and all he knows how to do is really punch his problems away.
Sure.
So they're kind of like guy emotional stories, you know. Yeah, I always like to say like Conan and kind of Jeff Lemire books are like fried green tomatoes for dudes.
Yeah, sure.
Anyway, sure. Jason Aaron does some really good stuff also.
Ooh, look at that gauntlet.
Yeah, this is the dumbest thing I've read.
Infinity Watch, huh?
Wolverine Infinity Watch.
Yeah.
I told you last week that I read it, and it basically puts him back into the Marvel universe and gets us acquainted with some of the stuff that's been going on in previous Infinity Watch or War type books.
Yep.
Basically, I think the stones, and they call them stones, not gems anymore. So if I slip, that's why. I think they're we find out that they are basically in certain people, and there's forces that are going to be out and try and find them, and it's just it didn't really interest me. There's a lot of Loki in here, so I guess if you dig that character.
I agree, Larry. That cover's terrible.
Yeah, that's horrible. Anyway, yeah, I didn't like it much.
Yep.
Thankfully, I didn't order that many, so it's not like I'm sitting on a lot.
Yeah. Legion of Doom.
The Legion of Doom. This is the villain Justice League. This was excellent. 2 issues in a row I've really enjoyed.
Yeah.
Both featuring Luthor.
Okay.
The 17 was Martian Manhunter and Luthor.
Yep.
And a lot of that plays a role in this story where Luthor and Brainiac basically do this mind meld.
Yeah.
And Brainiac thinks he has Luthor right where he wants him. And of course, you know, Luthor's a smart dude and he tells this really compelling story and everything's fine at the end, but it's super good. The artwork is excellent. I like Pascal Ferry a lot. He's got a computer kind of like thing going with his art, but I enjoy his style. Okay. It's really, for the most part, a talky issue. I think a lot of the
ones very smart people, right? What are they supposed to do? Knock each other out?
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, this is all going on while the other, you know, Legion of Doom are like in a conversation with them, and then they just kind of go in, and you figure it's only going on for like a few moments, but it's good stuff. I like it a lot. It was a good standalone issue, and Justice League's been a pretty good series.
Nice.
Yeah,
that's a great cover too.
Yeah, it's good. That's Francis Manapul that does this cover, I think.
Yeah.
Hey,
when they collect the Justice League, will they leave the Legion of Doom issues out and then collect all of them together?
I don't think so, because sometimes they're kind of time specific.
Oh.
Is that right? Yeah. Because like certain things that will happen within the story, it might be like a few weeks ago or a couple months ago, and at the same time they can also be, you know, present day.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I don't think that, I mean, is that a reason not to collect them together?
I don't think they really give any spoilers away, but like I said, this one plays in with the issue that was that just happened, so number 17. I don't know. I think reading them out of the order would just be stupid.
Okay, well, I'm a stupid guy, man, so I might just do it. You know, I would like.
Well, like I said, this issue, he definitely
like, man.
All right. Well, anyway, there you go.
it's just heavy on the distortion. You can't hear it, but I can. It's.
No, I'm sorry. I can step farther back.
You might have to.
Okay.
Or get a little more into camera, even. Ooh.
Oh yeah, maybe I'll do that.
Comics with Bueller.
Yeah. So yeah, here you go.
Oh, say hi, buddy. Say hi.
Hello. I'm on the other camera, so I didn't know that there was any chatting going on.
What did he miss before the Infinity Watch?
Just Avengers,
which was better than Infinity Watch.
Yes, I thought so.
I can't
Wolverine
imagine.
fans will enjoy it. I thought the artwork was okay, but again, it's overall a very unenthusiastic issue.
Right. Oh, and you did miss a really good conversation about Nightwing's butt.
Oh yeah, totally. Nightwing's got.
Besides that,
the juicy butt.
Yeah, juicy butt. You know, that's a gross concept, actually. So let's move on. Daredevil.
This came out a couple weeks ago. Number 2 comes out this week.
The Wire. Did you just read it?
I just read it.
Oh, okay. Well, you're behind the times. So man, you can tell us everything that happened.
Oh my gosh.
Well, first of all, who's doing this? Because it's a number 1, so they obviously have a new team on it.
Yeah, so Chip Zdarsky is writing it.
Old Chip.
Chippers.
Yeah.
And this Cicchetto.
Ooh.
I think it's Mark Cicchetto.
Yeah.
He did Old Man Hawkeye, I do believe.
Old Man Hawkeye.
Yeah. And this is okay. It's
Do you like Daredevil though? Because I kind of feel like I can't get behind Daredevil because he's I don't know what it is.
He's okay.
I don't know. He's a C-level character in my opinion.
Without a doubt, he's a C-level character.
And yet he gets his own book all the time. He's always got his own book.
Yeah.
And he's not worth it.
Well, there's been so I agree. Daredevil is without a doubt a C-level character.
You heard it here, folks. Yule Carter agrees with me. With
you.
That's terrible.
There have been A++ stories involving Daredevil by
Frank Miller. I mean, who wrote it?
Frank Miller. Well, that was in the 80s.
Jesus, dude, that's like 30 years ago.
Yeah, but hold on. Since then, Brian Michael Bendis and then Ed Brubaker had very good runs on that. They led one into the other. It was really nice. It was seamless. I sell it often here at the store when it's in print, and those are good. Charles Soule most recently had, for the most part, a very good run. Nothing classic, but good stuff. And then even before Frank Miller, there was Gene Colan, who is a fantastic illustrator. The stories were kind of cheesy, but fantastic illustrations. Definitely some of the best, comic books that were being produced at the time, at least as far, visually. So,
all right. So you have 100% being the total collection of all Daredevil ever. What percentage of Daredevil is worth reading? Like 1?
No, there's a lot. I mean, I didn't even talk about Denny O'Neil and Mazzucchelli. Mazzucchelli did a monthly comic book at one time, and probably people don't even know who he is anymore. I mean, we're talking about a master of comic books.
Really?
Yeah, he's one of the best of all time.
What else has he done?
He did Daredevil.
No.
Well, he did Batman Year One. Most people know him for that.
Okay.
He worked. See, I don't know what language he originally speaks, but he did a book called. Oh God, I was going to say the wrong name, and I can't think of it right now.
Larry's on it. Larry's on it. Daredevil Born Again, Batman Year One.
Yeah. Oh, Rubber Blankets is what it's called, and that's his own stuff. And he did an adaptation also of a Paul Auster novel called City of Glass. And City of Glass is a great American novel that people that like, noir and kind of like detective stories have to read.
Okay.
So Mazzucchelli is super great.
Nice.
Yeah, and he did Daredevil, and John Romita Jr. and Ann Nesenti. Ann Nesenti, unfortunately, she often gets like anytime someone wants to talk about like women in comic books, it's usually Louise Simonson and Ann Nesenti's names who get brought up often. And I personally don't even really enjoy her run on Daredevil, but the John Romita Jr. art's fantastic.
Okay, that's fair.
I don't know about percentages because I'm so bad with math, but
it's okay, man.
Daredevil has been very lucky to have very good storytelling in the book.
All right.
Lucky. It just happens.
Well, I mean, what is the deal? Are they trying to make Daredevil an A-list character?
Well, he did have a TV show on Netflix.
So did Jessica Jones.
He also had a movie. I don't know. I think Daredevil is probably one of those characters that translates better for television. I don't know why they always bring it back. I guess it's expected that Daredevil should always at least have a book. How's that?
I guess.
He always beds hot women. He's very Catholic. This issue is all about him as a kid growing up.
He can't be very Catholic, if you know what I mean.
Oh, he's very Catholic all the time.
He can't be.
Why not?
Because he can't be bedding hot women if he's Catholic.
Wow. He's got his demons, doesn't he?
He can bed one.
Oh, well, he takes his
time.
He takes his time. So it's a lot of flashbacks. It was an okay story. Nothing really great.
Ben Affleck, Daredevil. Oh, my God. I hate
you. Give it to me. Give me some Affleck.
Oh.
It was an okay first issue. I'm not the biggest Daredevil fan. It looked really good.
Put it away. Nobody wants to see that. Ooh,
All right.
this I do want to see though.
Yeah, I did read this.
Yeah.
So at the end of the 6th issue, we find out that one of the boys is not a boy.
Yeah, I knew it.
Yeah, you did.
I did. Pippi Longstocking, right?
Yeah. So as it ended, there was a lot of sideways glances at our character.
They're trying to see if they can tell that she's a girl.
Yeah, well, they're kind of like they know.
Or is it mistrust?
Yeah, they know, and now they feel really, let down on, by their teammate.
All right, they'll get over it though.
Girls. Yeah, well, so this issue continues, but we're thrown into our heroes being tortured by one of the other groups. Actually, there's a backstory first. Anyway, it's cool. I liked it a lot. It continues the camp jamboree that's been going on for a few issues.
Right.
There's a lot more. What do I want to say? There's a lot more intrigue that's being doled out. It feels very short. This book is very thick and the paper is rigid, but it didn't seem like there was a whole lot of story. Anyway, I'm sure there's a character we're not supposed to trust.
I see.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Anyway, it's really good. It's been a great series. I know I didn't really talk, super special about it right now, but it's just been really good, and it's just more of the same. Anybody that's seen me talk about Black Badge before knows I like it, so it's a good one.
I will attest to that. I consider it quite good as well, although I'm a little behind.
This whole Camp Jamboree thing has been really, really good. I like it a lot. I like all the different divisions of badges that are out there.
Got to tape a ruler or something in front of your microphone so you don't get close to it.
I'm sorry.
It sounds jarring, man. Anybody on headphones is in hell.
Oh yeah. Well, is it something I should do to my voice?
I don't know, man. If you can stay farther away from your mic, I think that's ideal.
Okay, very good.
Don't look at it. Aim away.
I'll try my best. Yeah.
Comic books.
Sounds good.
You are the comic book whisperer.
Yeah, sure. So I think that's the last one I read.
That was last. Okay, good. So we're moving on now to the stuff that you are excited about for this coming week that comes out tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow, New Comic Book Day.
All right, New Comic Book Day. Tell me, please, what is coming out tomorrow that is worth talking about?
Well, we already saw the Nightwing figure.
Oh, that's tomorrow?
Yeah, that's tomorrow.
Whoa.
So Submariner The Depths is a mini series that came out a few years ago, and it's getting recollected. This is by Peter Milligan with Asad Rivik.
He is so good.
Yeah, he's fantastic. He does a really good job on this one. Basically, the Submariner is kind of like a myth in this story. I think we're following submariners, submariners. I don't know what they would be.
Yeah,
anyway, they're down there, and oh man, it's been years since I've read it, but it's so fantastic looking. And I remember the spookiness of the story really plays a major role in the feel, and then the art just goes along well with it. So it's more of a horror kind of superhero story rather than a superhero story.
That's cool.
It's just a lot of real people and really good emotion. Yeah, excellent stuff.
All right, show us a couple more panels, man. That dude is phenomenal.
So here you go. Here's a few more. Get some light colored ones.
Give me some stuff in the water. Yeah, like that.
Yeah. So I think like when you first see the Namor or whatever you want to call him.
Yeah.
It's very like you're seeing him through the hole or like a porthole.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's all very dark and it feels very much like the Sphere or something like that.
Yep.
Yeah, so it's a lot less Namor in the book, but he is the main character. There you go. You see him right there.
Is this a prestige book?
This is a graphic novel, or this is, I said graphic novel. I can't believe I said that. This is what I call a trade paperback.
How many, is it self-contained?
It was the 4 issues that came out, and it's just collected.
So it is collecting something.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm just pointing that out. That's really cool.
Uh-oh. What's
Black Hammer,
that?
Age of Doom.
What's that?
So the last 2 issues were penciled by a different person, and it told the story of Colonel Weird in a different universe. And at the end of that, it leads into this. I'm assuming it's going to lead into this.
Okay.
So Dean Ormston is back on art.
Yeah.
And I really like his work.
Yep.
And again, Jeff Lemire as a writer.
Yeah, buddy.
Is very good.
Yeah, Dean Ormston is really, really, really good too.
God, man, he did Lucifer back in the Neil Gaiman Sandman days.
Yeah.
And it was always such a dreadfully boring series, but it had such good artwork by him. It really made me sad.
Yeah, that's so funny.
Oh my gosh. He also did a book. He did a Books of Magic book by Dylan Horrocks. The writer was Dylan Horrocks.
Yeah.
And I really like Dylan Horrocks, but again, another dreadfully boring series that Dean Ormston has been on. This is not so. I love this series.
It's exciting. And it's fun.
It's very
good. And it's fine. You know, finally something that he's not pulling out of the dumpster, right?
Anyway, I like it. Yeah, he's very good. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. That's exciting.
So, Black Hammer.
Mm-hmm.
Man Eaters. This is volume 1. It's the first 4 issues of Chelsea Cane's series.
Uh-huh.
This is a dumpster fire, trash fire.
Yeah.
This is also my guilty pleasure. I really enjoy reading this car wreck of a comic book.
Yeah.
I really think she's doing it to troll everybody, her fans and people that hate her.
Okay.
She had a lot of derision from fans when she wrote what was it, Mockingbird for Marvel. A lot of people said that it just felt like it was any character being written, you know, and it was just placed in that. But I personally don't care about Mockingbird because I've never cared about Avengers characters, and she's really lame. So I didn't read it. But I've read these, and again, I think she's trolling people. In fact, the last issue that's in here should be just like magazine articles about cats and estrogen and all sorts of stuff like that.
Uh-huh.
Which was the 4th issue. So it had no story in it whatsoever. But there it is.
Yeah, I think that's what he's talking about right there.
Yeah.
The recap or dumpage. Maybe.
Yeah. So, and then the next issue comes out this week. And there you go. Man Eaters number 6.
There you go.
And I know there's going to be somebody who's going to be like, oh, that's just disgusting.
That's the victory.
You earned your Red Wings? That's my question. Hilarious.
Hilarious. Anyway. Show me a little bit of the interior of that since it is coming out.
Yeah. So this book is, again, dumb. It's got a pretty good premise, actually, and I think the art's pretty good. And it already looks like it has more storytelling in it than it has in the previous issues.
Yeah. Who's the illustrator?
Kate Niemczyk. I don't know how to say that name.
Oh, that's fine. Whatever.
Niemczyk. Anyway, it's about. So this book, the premise is that women who do not take proper drugs to stem their flow will turn into man-eating cat monsters.
Awesome.
And our hero of the story, her father is a cop in the division of SCAT, which is, I don't remember what that stands for, but, you know, other than poop, which this book is. Again, I love this book though. I really, really do. I mean, it's poop. It's hot poop.
Yeah, well.
But so our hero is a little girl that's, she's starting to blossom.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, so there you go.
All right.
Yeah, it's a dumb book, but I really like it. So Maneaters,
Jewel likes it. Guilty pleasure.
guilty pleasure right there. Oh, I enjoy the fact that she's just, she's just a big old troll, and it's kind of Andy Kaufman-esque. At least I'm going to pretend it is.
Right. I get you.
This is only $1. This book,
Oh, wow. A Marvel book?
a Marvel book. It's a True Believers.
What does that mean?
So they're coming out with a bunch. So True Believers are reprints of classic Marvel comic books. They recently did a bunch of Conan ones because Conan started over again. But right now there's going to be a Captain Marvel movie. So there's been a bunch of Captain Marvel related comic books that are being reprinted.
Like for the first time.
Well, yeah, who cares? They've been reprinted in other areas, but for $1, anyway, it's just to coincide with the movie.
Yeah, I get you. I can't
This
believe
is
they'd publish anything for $1.
Well, they didn't have to pay anybody, probably.
Touche.
This has one of my favorite illustrators in comics all time working on this book.
Bernie
It's
Wright.
Michael Golden. He did Bucky O'Hare.
Okay.
And I love that guy. I love the way I don't know, the face and that whole action. This is Carol Danvers being saved by Spider-Woman right here. This whole book is not about Captain Marvel hardly at all. Well, it is, but it isn't. So basically, it's also known for the first introduction story of Rogue, and Rogue stole Captain Marvel's powers. Sorry, Ms. Marvel's powers, and the Avengers and X-Men have to team up to take down the Brotherhood. Blah blah blah. And then you find out a backstory about Carol Danvers, and it is very important to her character. It's only $1. This one's excellent. One of my all-time favorite books growing up. Again, Michael Golden does the art. Chris Claremont writes it. It's good.
I'm really into that being $1.
Yeah, it's only $1. This was Avengers Annual number 10.
Okay.
Look at that. I just love Golden. This looks good.
It does.
Yeah, I just like his expressions on his faces. Yeah, he's good. Anyway.
Right. Very nice. What?
Yeah, Savage Sword of Conan.
Number 2, huh?
Yeah, number 2. I really enjoyed the very first issue. I thought it was better than all 3 of the Jason Aaron ones together.
Oh, wow.
I kind of have a feeling that the Jason Aarons in the long run will be better than the Savage Sword. But as long as Ron Garney is doing fantastic illustrations, I'm probably going to be enjoying this one.
Is there any way to find out that kind of information, like how long they plan on keeping him on the book?
Well, I know that the artist on Conan the Barbarian isn't scheduled to be doing it in the next couple issues. They usually like to get him on books that are starting over or relaunching.
Sure.
Ron Garney is a little bit more of like a yeoman. Is that right? He's like
I don't know. You start using Middle English. What am I expected to do?
He's a stalwart. How's that?
I'll take it.
He's an industry vet. Anyway, he's really good. I enjoyed the first issue a lot. I'm really looking forward to this one.
Yeah, who did that cover?
I don't know.
I'm guessing. Look at those eyes.
Yeah, look at those eyes.
Yeah, but then now tell me who did it.
Yeah, look at those eyes.
Yeah. Look at that.
Yeah.
That looks like Danzig. Nah,
all right, let's see what it says here. Cover artist Alex Ross. Yeah, he's been really, really doing a good job in the last few years, I think.
I mean, I liked his stuff all the way back in the day when.
I've always respected his work, but I didn't really. He always looks sort of stiff and kind of just there, maybe too perfect. Anyway, this is good Conan without a doubt.
All right.
It's very reminiscent of like John Buscema, but Alex Ross, yeah.
All right, cool.
All right, next. Oh, this is a sad one. This is making me sad. This is the last book too.
Okay.
So I wanna preface this. I
Ooh.
used to only read Marvel and DC when I was a kid growing up. And then there was Comico and a few other companies. But Comico did Mage.
Yes, they did.
And I got that very first issue when it came out. And I must have read that thing. I'm talking about the very first issue of Mage. Probably, I don't know, man. How many times? 100? Maybe like 150? I don't know. I've read that thing so many times. And I love the story. I love the artwork. Matt Wagner draws and writes it. And it was kind of sloppy, but it just felt so raw and important to me as a kid growing up. And this is the end of the Mage series.
Like forever.
It's yeah, well, supposedly. It was always destined supposedly to be like a 3-part series. And when Comico was all this stuff was held up in litigation, Matt Wagner wasn't able to use his character for like a long time. And it finally got published by Image, the second volume. And this is the end of the third volume. And I only read about the first 4 of this series because, I was kind of selling out and I was really happy that old people were coming in and buying stuff. Which means I'm probably one of the old people that are really happy about this series. But
Mhm.
it's like it feels like, without having read all of this storyline, it definitely feels like a chapter in my comic book youth, definitely being closed right here. And
Yeah.
I like how Kevin Matchstick, the character, has aged with the series. Here he's a baldy. Oh man, I shouldn't look too much. There's some characters in there I don't think we're supposed to know that are around. But yeah, I love this series. Mage is really, really good. The second volume has a character that is basically Joe Matt. And if you've ever seen Joe Matt's Peep Show, which is a drawn and quarterly book, he was the colorist on Mage books or Grendel books that Matt Wagner had. He dated Matt Wagner's sister, I think Joe Matt did, and they lived together. And some of Joe Matt's comic strips have Matt Wagner in them. And yeah, I just love this series. It's kind of like an Arthurian legend.
Right.
And yeah, it's just one of my all-time favorites, without a doubt. I can't wait to read this. It's going to be collected real soon. I know the first part already has been. So all the mages are going to be out there for anybody to read if you want to check out something that I'm a super big fan of and have been for like since '84.
Oh, that's so
Yeah,
good.
definitely check out Mage. It's a great series. Sam Keith got some of his early work on that. So yeah, good stuff.
35 years ago? Is that right?
Yeah, yeah, it's a comic book chapter being closed without a doubt.
Wow.
Yeah, for me, I mean,
For
definitely
sure.
for Matt
Well, for
Wagner.
him too, I'd say, yeah.
Yeah, he just recently did a Batman issue, which was all about like fathers and sons. And the thing that sucked about that one was that his son was supposed to be the one that was coloring it, and DC was like, we don't think that would be a good idea. So they got his son off the book on like a father and son Batman issue. It was all about Dick and Bruce. Dick and Bruce.
Funny.
Yeah.
So they don't
But
like
yeah, Matt
nepotism, or
Wagner.
is he a bad inker?
Wait, what?
Do they
His
not
son
like
was coloring.
nepotism, or is he
I don't know.
bad?
I think his son's supposed to be pretty good. I mean, it's coloring. Who cares?
Some people
Make
are
the guy
good at it,
happy.
some people aren't.
Yeah, but you have to be really bad to be bad at it, I would assume.
I don't know.
Well, this looks good.
It looks alright. Not his son, though.
I don't know. Maybe not. Let's see if it's his son doing the art. Color art. Color art. No. Oh, yeah. Brennan Wagner. So, yeah. So he puts his money where his mouth is.
Nice.
Put the son on the book.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah. Anyway, there you
Well,
go.
there it is.
Yeah, empty.
It's an empty easel. So put the book that's most important back up on the easel. Doesn't matter from which week. Just put an important book up on the easel.
An important book?
Yeah, yeah. So that there isn't just a glary piece of plastic sitting there while we close out. You know what I mean? Yeah, I agree. That's a good choice.
Let's look to the future rather than talk about the ending of the past.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I'm
Black Hammer.
not even gonna pretend like I know what you just said.
I don't know either.
Uh-huh. Well, I think this is the most timely we have ever been. It is 10:01 on the nose.
Wow. Yeah.
So for those of you that joined us for the show, we're not really going to kill it right here, but we're done with the show. So now it's just gonna be,
just to chat for a second. I'm gonna put my face on.
Are you? You're gonna put your face on? Just go sit down over there.
No, I don't want to do that.
Aww.
Maybe it won't sound as bad now. Sorry about that.
Well, it's all right. But if you go back and listen to it, and I would advise you to do that, just so you can see what I'm talking about.
Yeah, well, you almost got me at home. We got our order in so early that we were going to. I was just going to go home.
Dude, we can always delay the show by an hour or move it up by an hour. There's no problem there. You put that stuff out on social media and then we just move it. It's no big deal.
Right.
No big deal.
No problem. I'm going to read the chat. Why don't you tell me something?
Tell you something?
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you that we're not doing the podcast on Thursday, as you know.
Yes.
But I think Jill and I are still on. Is Jill still in chat?
I couldn't tell you.
She was in the very beginning.
Yeah, I saw that.
But, well, whatever. I'll text her or whatever very soon. But besides that, I don't really I don't know what to tell you, buddy. Captain Marvel movie? Yeah, I'm gonna see it when it comes out.
Are you excited for it?
However, I have fairly low expectations because I'm not tied to the character.
Right.
But I will go see it.
Try and fix this little. Sorry, guys.
Oh, boycott.
Yeah, I don't know if there's a boycott, but I mean,
Social circles boycotting it.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
I don't know. I think Captain Marvel seems stupid.
That's okay. I just want to know how it ties into the last Avengers.
Say, what was that?
I said I want to know how it ties into the last Avengers because Samuel L. Jackson pushed a little button and then bam.
Right.
I mean, I should get my answers now.
Sure, definitely.
But I mean, it is almost over after all. And yeah, I'm sure there's viewer fatigue and character fatigue and Marvel fatigue at this point, but it is almost over.
Possibly there's fatigue. I don't know.
There's definitely fatigue. I am super not interested in seeing Marvel movies just because it's a Marvel movie anymore.
Well, just because it's a Marvel movie, but are you fatigued? I mean, it's not because it's like a superhero movie, right? I mean,
I don't know.
You can watch another type of superhero movie. There might be a good one out there that you'll be like, oh, I want to see that. It's not because of like the genre, right? It's just Marvel.
Marvel? No, you see, I don't really go for the DC characters either.
Well, what I'm saying is like, so we've talked about this. Marvel and Disney, they have a very
pump it out.
They have a certain kind of rhythm with their storytelling style. It's time for a joke.
It's a formula.
Almost always time for it. Well, it is a formula, but when you're seeing it in Star Wars and you're seeing it in Marvel movies and you're seeing it in maybe one of their animated features or something, it's like all they're doing is doing that.
Okay.
I don't know. That's how I kind of feel about it. I don't really care about the movies.
No, I know.
I want to go see Avengers. I'm only going to go see Avengers probably.
Yeah, well,
It was going to be that way. I didn't see Black Panther in the theater. I didn't see Doctor Strange in the theater. I saw Iron Man in the theater. That's pretty good for me these days.
do you mean the first Iron Man?
Yeah, the first one.
That
I
was
mean,
that was their
I'm
best movie. It's only been downhill since then.
I like the second one. Everybody seems to hate that. I didn't like the third one, and I've hated pretty much all the Thor movies. The third one was dog shit, and the second one was even worse.
Uh-huh.
To me, again, like joke, 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 joke in the Thor Ragnarok movie. I know a lot of people really liked it, but not my style.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mary Sue. Yeah. That I don't know that movie, Captain Marvel. I like the fact that we mentioned that comic book, the $1 comic book, because that's when Carol Danvers gets the most wrecked, and she suffers like this nervous breakdown, and she's like telling the Avengers that they're all jerk offs, and yeah, it's just that was Carol Danvers' most, her shining moment, I think. At
Right.
least as far as like any of the comics I ever read as a kid.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, the cat is the best part of the movie, I hear too. If a cat is really that great in the movie, that's a star. It's a star. Got signed that cat to a 3-movie deal.
Right.
But I am excited for the Avengers movie. I wanna see how that works out.
Yeah, I mean, I wanna see the end.
Yeah.
There's still a
But
bunch of them I haven't seen though. If it comes down to it, I'm probably not gonna.
yeah, I mean, I have the Netflix, and I still haven't watched Black Panther, but that's not even like a big deal because
All those movies will move over to Disney's streaming service when it comes online, huh?
yeah, probably when their contracts run up. I don't know what they're gonna do when it comes to like that Punisher and Daredevil stuff, because there's like cursing and there's a lot of violence and things like that.
Mm.
Supposedly the Disney doesn't want to have that on their thing, so I don't know what they're gonna do.
Maybe
But
they have
whatever.
a special mature audiences subscription.
A Disney adult blocker
Adult blocker.
or child blocker, whatever. You see adults that don't want to see it. The kids do, right?
I don't know.
Punisher with a Nerf gun.
Nice.
Yeah,
Well,
so there you go.
okay,
Captain Marvel.
yeah,
Boom.
say goodbye,
Boom.
Yule. I'm gonna
I
stop
will
the
say
podcast.
goodbye.
Go ahead.
Oh, yeah. Thanks for everybody showing up. I really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Hit like, thumbs up, smash that like button.
Uh-huh.
They say.
Treat it like a bean. All right.
That's
Good night,
right.
everybody. See you next week.
Yeah. Good night.